Hey friends, eggs. These are 3 homegrown eggs from a friend of mine that I just love very much. So I'm going to give you a little egg update. And if you have not been really kind of following what's going on with me for the last almost 2 years now, a year and a half, and you're probably wondering why she's even talking about eggs. So let me just tell you that since the summer of 2014, I had to remove eggs from my diet. Sadly, I found out that summer that I began to connect the fact that I was really inflamed and felt terrible, and my health was just on demise and going downhill. And every time I ate, I felt worse. I felt worse. And then if I actually went periods without food, I started to feel better, and like brain fog started clearing, all these things started happening. So I had this testing done to find out what foods I was sensitive to. This is not like food allergies, like I'm going to eat this and I'm going to end up in the hospital with anaphylactic shock. Although if I had too much of it, I could. That's another story for another day. But I found out that I'm very sensitive, not only to egg whites, to chicken, to lentils, to soy, to peanuts, to almost all kinds of legumes, to be honest. Green peas, peaches, pecan. Quite frankly, I have this kind of a lengthy list. Most people don't have quite a lengthy list. I just was so lucky that my gut's so out of whack, I have a lengthy list. So eggs. So since the summer of 2014, I have been desperate to put eggs back into my diet. So the last week, which I should back up and say, by removing these items, along with the other things, I actually felt amazingly better. Energy up, started sleeping better, started to not need to nap so much. All these wonderful changes started happening, and my body just started losing weight. I don't even know if you can see me very well here or not, but I'm like down 40, 45 pounds now at this point, and I've stabilized. I'm not really losing anymore, so those of you who are worried that I'm losing too much weight, I'm not losing it. Don't worry. I'm good. I'm good. But these things started happening as my body and my digestion started working right, all this kind of stuff. And of course, I'm trying to feed in the probiotics and antifungals and things to get things back in balance within me. So I've felt amazingly better. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try eggs again. I've tried it a couple of times without great success. This time, recently, I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this and do it well. So I ate eggs last week for breakfast. We did as a family. Because I should say that when we were trying to figure out what foods I was sensitive to, I kept an extensive log on everything that my children ate, and I ate every bite. And I kept a little note if they were tired or cranky or skin broke out in rashes or red spots on their faces, or they were more emotional today, or I was, or you know, I couldn't think today, I didn't sleep well. I kept up with my cycle. I kept up with everything, just trying to narrow it down. I needed my health back. I was desperate. Well, I came to realize that when I looked at that list after finding out eggs was a problem, my children all had issues that I could document. I had documented. I could link them back to the eggs too. So we removed it from everybody's diets. So now it's been 20 months or so. And last week we tried eggs and we did fine. We did really well. Everybody seemed okay. So I thought, okay, I'm going to push the envelope a little bit more. And we had eggs again. And we had eggs in a baked cake. And we had eggs in muffins. And we had scrambled eggs again. So in the past week, we've had eggs like 7 times. I think, I don't know, 5 to 7 times. Well, unfortunately, it's caught up with us. So for me, the last 2 nights, I have woke up around 2:30 feeling like I'm a furnace and I am on fire and my skin's red and hot and I'm having to pull the covers off. I go to the living room to get right under a ceiling fan to cool down. You would think I'm having a hot flash, but it's actually a horrible what's called histamine response going on in my body. One of my children has started waking up in the middle of the night with really bad dreams, like screaming in the middle of the night. When their histamine levels get too high, this is what happens to this child, and they don't sleep well. They have sleep issues too. And then I have another one that has a physical mannerisms that show up more when there's too much histamine. And then I have one child whose skin will break out And we'll start seeing red bumps and rashes and things like that coming when there's too much histamine. And then I have a couple of us that just start to get really cranky and really emotional and can feel more on the anxious side. Completely. Just being honest, because some people want to know, what am I looking for and all of this stuff going on. So sadly for us, the good news is we did fine with like 1 dose, but we can't do multiple doses. So we've reached a point probably where we can put it in maybe every 3 to 5 days, eat a couple eggs, but definitely not every day like we did. And I should say my youngest children, especially my very youngest one, has horrible, runny, snotty, gross nose now since she's had so much eggs in her system. So what I do know is that there are other foods that we can eat now that we weren't eating before, but those foods do not have a high level of histamine. The egg yolk, we can eat no problem. These are boiled. I just crack them. We eat egg yolks in salads or for breakfast and different things like that, but we can't handle the egg whites. It's the protein in the egg whites. And that protein in the egg whites is also what releases high levels of histamine in your body. So histamine intolerance is a situation where you can handle so much histamine because you have, or should have, enzymes in your gut, your digestive system, that breaks down histamine from the food that you eat. Well, if you don't have enough enzyme and you keep eating foods that are high in histamine, high in histamine, high in histamine, eventually it's like going to spill out. You can't keep the levels down, and then it's going to cause a lot of problems. And for me, swelling like crazy, body's flaring up, all these things going on. And that high histamine is connected to the high level of yeast, harmful yeast I had overgrowing in my body. So, eggs, glorious eggs. Thankful I can have them a little. Look forward to having them a lot one of these days. But in the meantime, I prefer to be happy and healthy and not on fire and a mama who's pleasant to be around. So, oh well. Goodbye eggs for a little while.